Up next, viewers, we're getting you some more breaking developments with respect to the Chechen leader. Now, Kadyrov, in fact, has claimed that hundreds of thousands of people are ready to join the ranks of volunteers to participate in Russia's special operation in Ukraine. And now we see another leader of a country which is on friendly terms with Russia. In fact, currently Chechnya is in fact under the rule of its Russian-appointed leader Ramzan Kadyrov, who has in fact made this statement with respect to how there are several volunteers of Chechnya who are ready to join the Russian troops as well on the ground against Ukraine. Pathikrit Pain, a geopolitical analyst, also joins us on the broadcast. Pathikrit, I want to take this question to you. We see now Russia clamoring for support on a global level. Earlier, we were talking about how he was also trying to reinstate the fact that they are allies of Syria. And now Chechnya as well, we have seen the president himself coming out and saying that there are volunteers who are ready to go on the ground and fight for Russia.
Well, first of all, Chechnya is part of the Russian Federation. It's not exactly, it is a republic, but it's not separate. It's part of the Russian Federation. And the Chechens are basically known for being extremely fierce fighters. Ramzan Kadyrov, who is a very, very big, and a strong ally of Vladimir Putin and a big fan of Vladimir Putin, have himself taken the pledge of going and fighting it out. And they are pretty well versed when it comes to, urban-centric warfare. The same goes for the Syrians. The Syrians actually have no love lost for the West because of the civil war that happened over there as part of the Arab Spring. And there was a concerted effort by the West to oust, the Bashar al-Assad regime, which, the Russians actually resisted. So unfortunately, what we are going to witness as the second stage of the conflict in Ukraine is that it's going to be a proxy theater for mercenaries of Russia fighting it out against West-backed mercenaries, and it's going to be very, very bloody. It's going to be devastating, and perhaps the convoys that we have seen, waiting outside Kyiv, long 40-50 mile long convoys, that's going to be the second or the two and a half stage of the warfare, when at every nook and street corner where, the conflict will go on hand to hand. And that's where the Chechen fighters, known for their fighting prowess, sometimes they're actually called not just fearless, they're also termed as very, very ruthless. They are coming in, and basically, the reason that the Russians are actually sending them, I think Ukraine also has something called the Azov Battalion. Ukraine is the only country perhaps in the world which has, a far right-wing militia called the Azov Battalion, which was upgraded to the rank of an infantry regiment and made part of the Ukraine National Guard. And they are basically a pro-Hitler, pro-Nazi group. I'm talking about the Azov regiment. And you had a large number of recruits, volunteers coming from many of the European countries, even from North America, who believe in white supremacy, who have become part of the Azov Battalion. And this organization, along with a few others, have been named out for their atrocities in the Donbas region. So it's basically a mercenary and voluntary force of Azov Battalion who believes in white supremacy, who would be fighting it out against the Russians, aided by the Chechen commandos, Chechen units, and as well as the Syrians. Remember, the Syrians are also very, very well versed in urban-centric warfare because of this long civil war they have faced.
You're putting that into a very nice global perspective when it comes to these statements that have been made not just by Russia, by other world leaders as well. The latest being, in fact, we have seen how Russia has also met the president of Belarus, has also made statements in respect to Syria and now Chechnya as well. I thank you for joining us with that perspective. Viewers, now also let's take a look at this ground report that has been filed by my colleague Shivani Sharma, and then we'll bring you all the breaking updates.
Yesterday, in fact, after meeting the president of Poland, Andrzej Duda, Kamala Harris gave a joint statement in which she said that attack on one country of the NATO is attack on all the nations. So they're trying to show solidarity with Ukraine, even though it's not directly with the part of NATO. But she said that almost 1.5 million people have come inside Poland, and that extra burden by Poland has been faced with due generosity. And that is the reason why people in Poland and the government in Poland must be helped by United States. Remember, the location, the geographical location of Poland is very important because it shares direct borders with Ukraine. Romania, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, and these countries, they share their direct borders. So United States is far away, but it wants to show solidarity, and that is why these visits are coming in closer to Ukraine's border.